All right, so this is going to be a quick episode 575 here. We're literally recording this as I just got home Wednesday, November 8th, doing Knicks Clippers. In just a few hours, obviously, they're starting up another game against the Spurs. They got Wemby tonight. So it's going to be quick. You know, I don't even know if anyone's going to tune into this one, being how late this is. The game was damn near 2 nights ago. But we're talking Knicks. Let's get into it. No wasting time. We'll get right to the point. Cue the intro. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya!
Anthony for 3, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied! Time!
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win!
So honestly, I can't remember anything about. I mean, I have my notes. A couple topics we're going to touch on. I don't remember anything like to summarize the game. I really don't. This episode's going to be shit, but I just know RJ Barrett returned. Right, he's back from the knee issue. And James Harden makes his debut for the Clippers, where he dropped 17. A whopping 17. We'll see how long he lasts there before he wants out. But in this game, the Knicks eventually pull away and win 111-97. The first half was very poor offensively for them, and then they found a rhythm in the second half with their offense, mainly because their defense led them into offense. Mitchell Robinson was also creating a ton of opportunities. Second chance opportunities for them in the half court as well. So those were keys to the Knicks scoring 111 points or whatever this game was 2 nights ago. But RJ Barrett was probably the best in this game. And I figured we'd start off giving some praise to RJ Barrett and giving him the game ball.
Bing bang!
The Bing Bong game ball goes to RJ, who scored 26 points the other night, 6 boards, 4 assists, shot 9 of 16 from the floor. It was a very welcomed return from the knee injury. You know, I will say first off, I'm a little worried. Just the way MSG and RJ spoke about it, it sounds like it's going to be a lingering problem that he's going to have to deal with. I hope that it's not like an after effect from something that happened in FIBA, or maybe it was at one play. I think it was opening night where he banged his knee. I hope it doesn't lead to anything down the line. You know, I don't want to have to use the S word. I mean, I just hope it's fucking just a knee issue that happened and it heals soon. But the way MSG was talking about it and the way RJ spoke about it with Rebecca, just something it's going to be in the back of my mind. Just hope it doesn't lead to anything down the line for as long as he's a Knick. But he continues to look good, right? That's the positive. 26-6. 5 games into the season, he's so far so good. No, I'm still not buying it. We have to be reasonable both ways, because we've seen RJ have excellent stretches of basketball before. I know he usually gets off to slow starts. This time he's off to a hot start, but maybe this is just one of his hot stretches out the gate instead. I want to wait. His whole thing, his entire career has been sustainability, consistency. So I'm not saying RJ's taken that big leap just yet. A lot of Knicks fans want to jump to that conclusion. I just want to see it tonight. I just take it day by day, see how long it lasts. Hopefully it does last. I do like a ton of things that I'm seeing early on from him. I mean, he's improved in a lot of the aspects of his game so far. The foul shooting has, that being as good as it's been is a very pleasant surprise. He's 85% at the foul line on 27 attempts so far through 5 games. 3-point shots looking very good. It's 44% on 25 attempts. That's excellent. He's also 67% at the basket this year. That's up from 59% last year. So all that's nice. All 3 levels of the game, even the mid-range, he seemed to improve in so far. What I really like, though, is how comfortable RJ looks going right. Obviously, that's been a big problem for him in his career. Not just the right-hand finish, but going right in the half court. But how many times did he go right the other night and make a nice play afterwards, right? He just looks like he's gotten so much more comfortable there. He looks like he has so much more patience and a very good tempo off the dribble when he's going right. You saw in the first quarter, very early on, one of the first plays of the game, RJ goes right. He uses his height to look over the defense and distribute the ball to the weak side corner over to Julius. That's something he doesn't really do in the past, and make that read right off the bat like that. Third quarter, early on, same thing. He's going to his right, and this time he finds Grimes across court in the weak side corner. Grimes ends up swinging it to Brunson, who draws contact, gets to the line. That's because of RJ. Fourth quarter, there was a pick and roll between RJ and Hartenstein. RJ goes right. That opens up space for Donte in the corner with Bones Highland helping off of him onto RJ. Another instance of the Knicks creating offense because of RJ just improving as a playmaker. There was another possession. I forget when this was. I think it might have been the second half. But he uses an in and out dribble to get by Harden. And then he goes right again, goes to the basket, pump fakes on Zubac, throws up a little bit of a floater, 2 points. So it's not just straight line left anymore. That's a lot of what we saw in the first few seasons from him. He seems a lot more comfortable going to his right. And he's continuing to improve at the basket. Excuse me. At the basket. I love the different trajectories and angles he's using to go around bigger defenders and, going high off the glass, finishing through contact. It's looking very good. He continues to play very well with the second unit, right? I thought the second unit being in at the start of the fourth quarter, that was key. I think that was the reason this game was put to bed and the Knicks put their foot on the pedal is because of their of the second unit's play in the fourth quarter. There was just a lot of ball movement, equal distribution. Hart, Donte, RJ running the break, just excellent communication, synergy. Synergy might be a word that I mentioned a few times in this episode. Speaking of synergy, RJ and Randle even making a few nice plays together in the half court. Talk about rare. You saw them making a few nice plays in the two-man game. So, yeah, it was a great night from RJ and Randle. 27 points for Julius, 10 boards, did have 6 turnovers, but he shot 6 of 6 at the free throw line, and he looked very good. 27 points, he shot fine, 9 of 21. How about that? Watching Julius the other night doing what we've been asking for, right? We've been clamoring for this, and Tibbs finally got Randle moving towards the basket last night, and he got him running some pick and roll. Randle and Mitch, running that 4 or 5 pick and roll a number of times throughout the night. Randle found Mitch on a lob. That's what we need to see, though, right? That's what we need right now. When Randle catches it on the block, the defense is set, and they're ready for him. But right now, I think we need to focus on getting him downhill and pick and roll. You have the defense backtracking while a 6'8", 250-something pound beast is coming at you. The drop defender doesn't want to switch going backwards. Get him going downhill. And, just it was very important to see Randle thrive at the basket, especially on the night, seeing him finishing and drawing contact where Brunson was very ineffective down there. But Randle was attacking. He was in attack mode, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that aggressiveness, attacking guys off the dribble. Plumlee, Zubac, even Kawhi attacking him off the dribble. Just quick decision-making, and that's always been key, right? That's been his problem again this year. And he did have some moments early in the first quarter, a couple times on the three-point arc where he hesitated and passed it off. Breen noted that. But other than that, as the game started going along, he started to get more uncomfortable. He looked very aggressive in the half court, and he was even finishing in transition, getting easy looks there. His passing was good too. Again, 6 turnovers, but when the defense collapsed on his drives, he was able to use his passing to find his teammates on kickouts. Found them on the break too. He had 10 rebounds. He was grabbing the boards, and he made an effort to push the pace, find his guys in transition, and it was good. It was a nice night for Julius to finally get back on track, and I hope this continues, man. I'm rooting for the guy, and that's the thing. There was an article out recently, a couple days ago before this game, to summarize it, basically saying how Knicks fans should maybe start cheering Julius Randle's name when he's playing bad basketball instead of jeering and booing and criticizing. Listen, I don't know what people think about New York, but one thing everybody knows, or I guess should know, is that New Yorkers aren't soft like that. Like, they're not Philly. It's not Philadelphia where they hand out cupcakes and participation awards and they cheer for Trey Turner when he's batting $150 a month and a half into his contract. We don't do that. We're not soft like Philadelphia. So asking fans to be fake, that's a little insane to me, right? How about letting them react? How about letting a natural reaction be a natural reaction? How about when someone is out there with poor body language, blaming their teammates not moving in the offense, not bothering to move on defense and get back and run? How about fans react like the way they're supposed to react when something like that happens so consistently? I don't know, man. It's weird. It was a weird article. It's just this new wave of humans, man. Like, I'm telling you, a lot of you guys, maybe not listening, but a lot of people out there are just incredibly soft. I'm going to sound like an old man, and I already do, but it's the TikTok generation. It's the social media era, I feel like, has destroyed people. We're talking about a grown-ass man making millions of dollars, and people want us talking to him like he's 8-year-old Jimmy practicing basketball next door in his driveway. Knicks fans, they're paying hundreds of dollars every night. That building is never not packed. So excuse them for wanting to get their money's worth. It's one thing to just not be very good, but it's a whole other animal for wanting people to have sympathy for somebody who consistently doesn't try hard. That's the hint. Randle's very good. He's a very good player. So why wouldn't you try hard every night? It's not hate. It's not like we're rooting against him. We don't want to criticize him. I've seen that narrative float. Oh, you guys are haters. No, calling it hate is to me, that's just a cop-out for people who can't accept or receive criticism well. That's all it is. It's exactly that. It's not hate. It's just fans who are being fed up with a millionaire athlete giving 2%. It's amazing to me how some people want Knicks fans to be softer when the Knicks fans aren't the ones in the wrong. You're going to play like shit. The reaction's going to be shit. That's part of sports. That's part of New York City sports. The highs are going to be really high, higher than no other city. But the lows are going to be lower than low. lower than NOLA of the city. Nobody wants to talk about the extreme peak when you reach extreme glory in New York City. They all want to talk about the downside of it because they're all out to get New Yorkers. I will say, like, the demonstrative stuff. I get that. You know, people coming at him personally, going at his family on social media. That's a different story. You know, but to say fans can't boo, it's insane. It's insane. We've had this conversation with the Yankees the last few years, right? Yankees booing guys like Stanton, Gallo, certain pitchers, right? It's nothing new. But it's new in terms of like the last 10 years or so. I feel like this has become a thing where people get offended at fans being mean. I just think it's this new generation, man. I really do. I think you all want everything handed to you. I think you're soft. I think you're all very, very soft. And a lot of you have never played competitive sport in your life. And, you know, you probably loved the Bacon Club, though, in high school. So, I don't know. It's welcome to sports. It's not going to be easy. I'll leave it at that. Done with the old man rant, I promise. The Knick defense last night was excellent. To allow just 97 points to that Clippers team, 62 points combined from the big four, Harden, Westbrook, PG, Kawhi. That's pretty good. You know, if let's say 20 points apiece from those guys give you 80 combined, the Knicks held them to 62. So they shut them down. A lot of great individual defense, and that made great team defense. Like Brunson. Listen, Brunson's been up and down this year offensively. He's not had a good year. He's really only had 2 great games of the 7. But I am loving his defense. On a night-to-night basis, I think this is the best defense he's played maybe in his career. I haven't watched him with the Mavs, but I mean, the first minute of the game, you got a pick and roll where Zubac rolls into space. Brunson then rotates over. He steps up on him to deter the drive. That leads to a bad pass down to Westbrook, who Grimes rotates over onto and gets the steal, all because Brunson stunted at Zubac on the roll. Just providing great help defense. And another first quarter sequence I have written down here, Brunson stunts at a Paul George drive to force the kick out. Grimes gets a bit over aggressive closing out on the shooter. So Brunson rotates up to the shooter to force another pass. And then he gets back and recovers onto that guy, Westbrook, just in time to contest his 3-point shot. So it was a PG kick out. That guy swung it to Westbrook in the corner. Brunson just causing all of that. And that's what you want if you're the Knicks. You want contested Westbrook 3-pointers. The second half, I think this was in the second half, you had Brunson breaking up a DHO action between Westbrook and Zubac. That led to a steal, fast break bucket on the other end for the Knicks. He was playing great defense. And if you go back and watch the film, you watch the game again, you'll know what I'm talking about if you focus on him. I don't know how many of you do that. Maybe I'm just a nerd. A lot of other Knicks, though, with just some excellent defense. Of course, Mitchell Robinson, wow. The offensive rebounding stuff, of course, but the defense, down at the basket. How about him going onto the perimeter on an island with Kawhi, right? He's a switchable player. Telling you, you can switch him and pick a roll because he's able to guard the perimeter a little bit. He was helping on Kawhi, helping on Paul George all night, guarding the pick and roll, using his length to get deflections and steals all night. His positioning, his stance, just having his arms up, so key with that wingspan. And you could see that. I mean, the Knicks were trapping the pick and roll a lot the other night. Having Mitch come up at the level and being able to, disrupt plays. Quickly was playing great defense. He was being aggressive on Westbrook a few times. Loved seeing that. Grimes, who has been not great at all offensively for the Knicks so far this year. Brought the defense. This was a great defensive game from Grimes. There was one possession mid-third quarter caught my attention, that dig and recover onto James Harden, just doing two things at once. So just all in all, because of all the great individual defense, the team defense was great. The communication, and again, here's that term, the synergy was just on point, crisp. Early fourth quarter, there was a possession where I thought just perfectly explained great communication and team defense. Quickly brings aggressive help on Harden. He was driving middle. RJ reads that, rotates over to Quickly's man on the elbow three. That forces the pass to the corner shooter. But Quickly recovers back out to the corner by then, and he forces that guy off the three-point line. Whoever that was, he drives, and then that's when Donte slides over to help on the ball. And then that forces a kick out to the opposite corner where Josh Hart, of course, is right in the middle of the passing lanes. Hart picks it off, and from there that starts the fast break, and the Knicks get 2 more points in transition. I thought that was perfect team defense to a T right there. Guys communicating, making quick rotations, knowing where the ball is, and synergy. So, yeah, I mean, part of the reason the Knicks scored 111 points last night was because of their defense. They forced a ton of turnovers, and it helped guys like Randle get easy baskets in transition. Josh Hart, the rebounds, the steals, finding teammates on the break, and that's huge. That's going to be huge for the Knicks this year, because if the Knicks, if you can't knock down shots from long range, and if you're struggling at the basket like they are, and your half-court offense is not good, Randall struggling, Brunson's having a bad year, then you need to find ways to score somehow. You need to find ways to generate offense in other areas. And last night, the Knicks did that. They used their defense to create offense. They forced contested shots, forced open shooters to take bad shooters to take open looks, grabbed rebounds, played the passing lanes, forcing turnovers, running the damn break. They were 28-6 in the fast break last night. They were plus 17 on the glass. They had 28 assists. Again, many of that coming in the full court as opposed to the half court. Donte DiVincenzo was a big reason for the transition play being as great as it was, and he's getting the game ball off the bench.
Bing bang.
Donte was excellent. We'll wrap it up with him. 12 points, 6 boards, a steal, a block, an assist, 4 of 6 shooting from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. It's like we were talking about in one of our preseason episodes. It's that Villanova hustle, right? The intangibles that he brings, that the activity on defense from him in this game, unbelievable. Forcing so many big plays that led from defense to offense. It's everything we've been talking about with Donte DiVincenzo, how it's very Josh Hart-like. No coincidence. Just everywhere. He's everywhere at once. His fingerprints were everywhere. Going up for rebounds over guys he has no business snagging boards from, like Paul George. It was probably the first complete game from DiVincenzo this year. Maybe the second, but I mean, we got the 3-point shooting, the rebounding, the defense, sneaky athleticism too. We saw him attempt to dunk on Brook Lopez the other night, but in this game, he's going straight at Westbrook in transition. He looked great, man. And if he continues to play like this, I'm telling you, in a month or two, he will become a fan favorite. Saying that right now. So that's it. Short episode, 25-minute show. We're going to head to break, get back, and then when we return, wrap this up with our trivia, and that'll be that. Stay with us. Be right back. Here on BD4, episode 575.
We appreciate you sticking around and listening so far. When you have a chance, be sure to open YouTube to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you're already watching on YouTube, be sure to head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We appreciate your feedback and are always looking to improve. Now, with that all said, let's get you back to the show. You can also find us on social media. If you'd like, you can follow BD4 on Facebook, and we're at BD4Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. We appreciate you helping us grow more and more every day. Let's get back to it. If you have time in the day or maybe just prefer old-fashioned reading over listening, then you can always follow along and subscribe to BD4 Blog by going to BD4blog.com. We're not on there as often, but when we do post, it's just as entertaining, opinionated, and passionate as we are on this podcast. Thank you so much. And let's keep on with the show.
Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to episode 575 of BD4. Again, I'm going to try to get this one up as quick as possible so it has some kind of shelf life to it before this Spurs game comes up tonight. It starts at, 7? Let's see. Hey, Siri, what time is the Knicks? Okay, it's 7:30. Oh, it's an ESPN game, of course, Wemby, at the Garden. Okay, so with that all said, let's get to our trivia to wrap this thing up. All right. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Let's wrap this thing up. Sorry. I got my producer in the corner over here. True or false? Carmelo Anthony is top 15 in Knicks history for steals. True or false? Carmelo Anthony is top 15 in Knicks history for steals. Let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. And that is it for episode 575 here. One final time. True or false? Carmelo Anthony is top 15 in Knicks history for steals. Appreciate you stopping by. That's going to do it for this show. Episode 575 is in the books. The Knicks pick up a must-win versus the Clippers. It really did feel like it was a must-win because starting 2-5 is a much different look than 3-4. Now they've got a chance to pick up a win tonight, start scratch at 500, and then work from there, right? I am very interested in this matchup. I really want to see what Mitch looks like against Wemby. Because, Mitch early on in his career, I feel like would struggle with guys like this. I remember Giannis used to destroy Mitchell Robinson. Mitch, a much more mature player. These last couple of years, the other night, looked great against Giannis. I want to see how he does against these longer bigs. So the next one up will be Wemby tonight. The dude's been great. He's been excellent so far. He's been living up to the hype. And I was talking with one of my buddies last night. I bought 2K. I did. I purchased NBA 2K24. I haven't played much the last few years. I haven't really been on as much, but I bought it, and then I was talking in a party chat with one of my guys, and I was telling him how these guys all get so much hype. They do this with every draft prospect. With Simmons, they did it. They did it with Zion. They do it with a lot of these guys. And now they're doing it with Wemby, but I don't, and I've said that here on the show before, but I don't want people taking that the wrong way, because I do think this guy is going to be unicorn-like. They did it with Porzingis. I do really, as long as he's healthy, and obviously that's a big if with a guy of his frame, I do think that the talent, the upside for him to be as talented as he could be is there. I mean, the things they're saying about him is nuts, but I think he's got nuts potential. So I'm excited. I hope tonight he scores 0 points, grabs 0 rebounds, and takes the loss, right? I want him to take the loss. I'm really curious to see how Mitchell Robinson defends him. The Knicks need to get physical. They need to throw bodies down there at him. They need to push him, outside the paint. And he could shoot a little bit too. That's interesting. Speaking of, unicorns, I mean, got, a little bit of Durant in him, man. I don't know, man. I've watched a few highlights of him. I've seen, some games when he was on TNT or ESPN. I haven't really watched a ton. So I'm curious to get a full look at him for 48 minutes tonight at Madison Square Garden, no less. I have a feel, the Garden is where people like to go off, man, and it's not always Knicks players. I can see a world out there where he does some shit tonight. But let's hope that he is shit. So we're rambling. Let's wrap this up. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next show when we're talking about this Knicks Spurs game later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you, and we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees, and go Knicks!